Annyit tudunk, mert ez a farma felébredt, nem tud semmit magáról, ki ő, hol lakik, etc. etc. Aztán kiderült, hogy nyomozó, aki egy valószínűsíthető egy gyilkossági ügyön dolgozik.
Igen.
És közben össze kell rakni a kilakóst minden nyomozással együtt azt is, hogy kik vagyunk.
Igen.
Most sikerült leszedni a hullát.
Igen, és most kéne megnézni azt, hogy mi
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Mi van akkor, hogyha tell me who are you? Tehát az mi?
Ezt tegnap próbáltuk, nem?
És nem sikerült.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Let's get in here.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity. I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes? In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form.
Hát vagy elvesztettük izét, vagy nem mondasz semmit.
Hát szerintem szóljunk, hogy elvesztettük, mert most hazudjuk neki, és közben magyaráz a dolgokat, még nem írunk semmit.
Now they only have one paperwork too.
Officer, what haven't you lost?
Steal my disco trousers. Sért. Igen. Hát, akkor csak viccelni tudunk.
On my shoe, I have both of them.
Good. Otherwise you would only have one shoe now. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several actually, but only if it helps move things along.
I work of yours. For now, vagy...
Jöhet az, nem?
Aha.
Right. The autopsy form is near the end.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with:
That's you.
Right. Rafael, leave it empty.
The corpse lies there, indifferent to your retrograde amnesia. The next box says:
KK57-0803.0815. Next. NA. Next.
Nem tudjuk a nevét.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
Try 40. the damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
Várj, 50.
Jó, de mi segítünk, nem? Mármint, hogy most... Igen, most ő elmondta meg ilyenek, de most ne írjuk le azt, amit ő írt.
42, most 2 éves. Szerintem.
Hát ő azt mondta, hogy 50.
Igen, azt mondta.
Hát, és mi, de közben meg úgy gondoljuk, mi, hogy talán a sebzések miatt tűnik ennyinek, és amúgy olyan 40-es körül lehet.
Jó, akkor 42.
Hát, és írjuk le azt, amit
Hát,
I'm gonna write it. Jó, írjuk
The
le.
corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Rész.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental. As per your observation.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor occidental. It doesn't even look human. The next line says, as you read it, you think, that leaves out dark-haired Mesk, Sal, Sarah Mauritian, Kedratic. Lighter-skinned occidental means this man could be Vespertine, Oranese, Messinian. Those three are on the table. A solid guess, Mr. Racial Profiler.
Fucky!
Oh, meghatta azt, hogy szexus, ez nem fucky a kisgyerek.
Male.
igen.
Pigs can have sex.
Right, fucky. Leírom, hogy male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Ez egy terhes.
Hát, hogy
We're still going with
felhozódva
March
a
4th,
halott
51.
vadállattól, meg mindentől, és így...
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
Evidence of treatment. És mi ez egyáltalán?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Aha. Hát minden arra utal, hogy lincselés volt, nem?
Igen. Hát, de ide vitték, de hogy... A lényeg az nem azt beszélték, hogy szerintük
De azt mondja csak, hogy...
már halott volt.
Igen. Jó, akkor
Hát azt beszélték, hogy amikor magyarázta, hogy ahogy felrakták, hogy tartja ott nem gondolja, hogy ha élt volna, így rakták le. Azt magyarázta akkor, nem?
Én egyetértek vele.
Igen.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then,
We should start the post-mortem.
the corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Hát valami csorbatunk van, nem?
No.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Red Herting. Ja igen, mert rámondta, hogy a legcsúnyább gyerek a
Igen.
világon.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness.
De viszont
Hair is
42-t
combed
írtál
back,
le.
Igen,
short.
tudom.
De az nagyon jó, nem?
Hát, szerintem se, de nem baj. Most már.
De én mondtam az 50-et, vagy nem tudom, hogy...
Nem, mondtad, hogy 42.
Hát mert mondtad, hogy szerinted
Nem,
bizony.
mindegy, igazából most már.
Hát mindegy, igazából csak nem. Hát 42-nek érzi, hát csak tudnak valamit. Az még nem olyan vészes, szerintem.
Touch the corpse hair before moving on. Miért? Miért tudnék ilyet csinálni?
Nem tudom.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Stroke his hair. Jó.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Always good to think ahead. Now... we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Look for a good spot. Hagyja a gumóikat.
Ja.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there, steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Ennyi. Hát most lejjebb ment mert stupidárgóban döltem velük.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! Let's get up and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Megnézzük, vagy írjuk le.
Azt mondta, hogy nem sérült a genitália.
Igen.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
Okay. Ezt leírom, vagy én szólok neki.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
Okay. Pick up the hand. Tehát hagyom, hogy dolgozzon egyre.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Na, akkor meg volt ez ilyen ez.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Hát írjuk azt, hogy nem. Szerintem. Egy morál, tehát ez egy ilyen tanulság, vagy mi? Nem.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions.
Igen.
The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Belenézünk a szájába, vagy nem?
Belenéztünk.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Ja, ne, inkább nem.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Azt nem tudom mi. Nincs semmi.
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Leírom, hogy nem.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Mert még nem tudjuk.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Lehet.
Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Szólok, hogy
What's next on the list?
Oké.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Nem fattál postmortem szerintem.
Igen.
Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Nem fattál postmortem.
Right. Next.
Mi?
Megkérdezem, hogy mire van a fourth injury.
Nothing. Just in case. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Hát várjál, mit ír? A sötét, vörös. Zim, nyom.
Azt írja, hogy nincs nyoma annak, hogy kaparta volna ezért, nem?
Igen.
Tehát szabad volt a keze.
Igen. Ha
Szóval-
csak nem utána vágták le, de nincs megkötözve a kezes.
Szóval ez se fatal injury, nem?
Mm,
Akkor
hát
nem
igen,
tudom.
fura, mert hogyha... Hát
Miben halt meg?
Ez jó kérdés. Hát... Igazából... Megfulladhatott, vagy eltörhetett izé, de szerintem mi van akkor, hogyha...
Hát ide hozták alapból fel.
Elaltották, igaz, lehet, hogy elkábították, és felrakták ide, és konkrétan abba halt meg, hogy ott lógott. Eszméletlenül lógott.
Aha.
Szóval alapvetően, mert ott volt egy ilyen törés, mert vizének folytogatásnál is van egy ilyen izé, ami onnan tudják, hogy folytogatás áldozat. Nyilván látszik a nyom a nyakadon, meg hogy belül eltört itt a izé. Szóval ez megtörtént a formával, szóval szerintem okozhatta a halálát fulladás. Viszont nem
igen.
küzdött, szóval feltételezéseim szerint vagy kiütötték, vagy elkábították valamivel, nem tudom, mert olyan fura lenne, hogy meg lett volna kötöző, és utólag levágtak volna róla a kötelet
Szerintem is az
kézileg,
lett,
mert
hogy-
mindent ott hagytak rajta, ilyen, meg a csizmáját is.
Szerintem is az lehetett, hogy ebbe halt meg, meg tírja a nyakizéket, meg ilyeneket,
Igen.
tehát hogy ezek szerintem akkor...
Hát hogyha... Várjál, mit ír?
Mert halott
Nem
az
is
túl
valahol.
merev ahhoz, nem?
De van... Mi ez?
Hát most azt választhatom meg, hogy ez fatal injury volt, vagy pedig nem.
Ja. Jó, szóval...
Itt van.
Izé... Hyoid bone is fractured. Tehát megrepett, ugye? Törött. Szóval igen, valószínűleg abban halt meg, mert az, hogyha folytogatnak, akkor az eltörik.
Hát akkor leírom, hogy
Tehát
fatal.
fulladás, tudja, hogy a kötél, meg a súly, kétlem.
De
hát-
nem... Ezért, de nem... Tehát meg nem kaparta a nyakát.
Nem kaparta, de attól függetlenül hallhatod vele abba, hogyha elkábítva volt, és ide vonszolták
Akkor
őt.
toljuk ezt, hogy fatal injury.
Szerintem...
Vagy pedig túl gondoljuk? És csak annyi lenne az egész, hogy már 20-szor megbeszéltük, hogy ide hozták, meg ilyenek. Bár mondjuk akkor minek lincselik meg itt, hogyha... Tehát most minek... Tehát elhozzák ideig és elkezdik, nem is tudom, hogy felakasztják ezek az emberek.
Jó, viszont nem tudom, igazából felakasztották, de nem láttak ilyen nézéket, hogy ide húznák, meg ilyen. Többen voltak, de nem látnak ilyen, nem csak dulakodás, nem mondod, hogy a farmán már voltak sérülések a farmán, de egyik sem tűnt halálosnak, sem a felső, semmi. A halálosnak a nyakán lévő cucc. Tehát tök mindegy, vagy így, vagy így, akkor is az akasztásba halt meg. Ha el volt kábítva, hanem akkor is szerintem az akasztás, meg a fulladás okozta halálát. Vagy a fracture.
Akkor írjam, hogy fatal injury.
Szerintem az volt a
Jó, nézzük meg.
fatal injury, mert...
Why do you say that?
I just took a whack in the dark. I'm serious, I don't think this was the injury that killed him. Mi?
Mi? Akkor azt mondtad, hogy nem az?
Non fatal, arra mentem rá.
Ó, basszus.
Akkor I just took a walk in the dark. Jó, azt mondom akkor most már.
Hát igen,
Did
mert
you?
neked...
I'm not so sure. I thought we could establish the cause of death here, officer. Now I think we should leave it empty.
Hát
Nem ez nyilvánvalóan az volt a fatal injury. Let's mark it such as...
No, officer. I'm afraid I disagree now. We should leave the question open, at least for the time being. If necessary, I can always amend this later, in my paperwork. Let's wrap this up. I
Jó,
pronounce
akkor
this field
különösen meg
autopsy
tudjuk
over.
írni, akkor bizonyítást várunk, hogy tényleg ez volt a fatal injury.
It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. Then, given the state of decay here, I consider establishing the victim's ethnicity a minor success. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh, yeah. Well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Nem viszont.
Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man one more time, then at his notebook, then at the corpse again. You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Tell me who you are. Search the... Stop wasting time, you are smart. Ja,
Ja.
hogy átnézzük még egyszer, vagy ne? Nem. Ez megnyílni. Most már megnézem, hogy ki vagy.
I'm gone.
Igazából ki vagy te? Vagy hol mentél?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Okay.
In the past, way out in the west.
Jó, látod azt, hogy...
I'm a joke. Look at me.
Nincs ebben semmi vicc.
There is nothing funny about jokes either.
Hol voltál, amikor
A
éltél?
killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
Ó,
Go ahead, Coppo. What do you mean?
Mi történik? Hát hozzád beszélek.
It's the power of your imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
Ezeket megkérdezem még?
Survive, do I?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Yeah, give me questions.
Here you go, you loony.
Is my name Ronnie?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
Lehetek Harry?
You can be anything you want, brother Coppo.
Érzem azt, hogy valami szörnyűt elfelejtettem.
Because you have.
Jó van, ennyi elég volt.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Okay. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can take care of the rest.
Szét akartam mondani.
It's too late to take him into processing today. I'll take him first thing tomorrow.
Mert mi van akkor itt kavácsa? Akkor hogyha azért lehet hide-olni, mondta, hogy ki volt előtte, és mondja, hogy a killer, a motherfucker, killer. Mi van akkor, hogyha a csávó rájött valakire, hogy a csávó megölt vele? Már nem, mert ott voltak a lábnyomat, az minden. Szóval... Ezt többen követték el, de érted, hogyha benne van ő is, vagy nem, mert nem tudom.
Értem, hogy mondasz.
Valami van.
Csomó.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso. The pattern still kind of has an ethnic feel to it, but nothing familiar. For you to discover, you've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone who knows about history could tell you.
Valaki ki tud a történelemből, az el tudja mondani, hogy mit tud a tetoválás, ez fontos lenne.
Szóval szerintem a vízi okozhatta a halálát. Szerintem mindenképpen hogy eltörtett idéje. Szerintem megfulladt konkrétan. Az okozhatta neki. Az, hogy mi történhetett, lehet, hogy sikerült, lehet, hogy csak itt elkapták, idehozták többen, és felvetették. De nem volt magánál a csávó, mert amikor elkapták, lehet, hogy elkábítva kapták el.
Igen.
Vagy kiütötték, vagy nem tudom.
Ha beállítottam valamit, még egy gondolatmenetet hozni magamnak. Először beszéljünk a szakácsukkal szerintem.
Most már mentünk, a 2 óra 6 perc van.
Igen, igen. Nem tudom, hogy ki tudhat a történelemről.
Kicsit ezt levenni, ugye?
Ja.
Mármint, hogy
Igazad
ha hozzányúlnál bármihez ilyen hulláskesztyűvel.
Itt ajtó. Itt beszélünk egy emberrel.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Quebec. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Quebec. Please, it's not funny.
Ez a baj, hogy úgy tolnék valamilyen balfasz végigjátszást, tudod, meg ilyeneket.
Hát de akkor csak vége van a játéknak, hogy az előbb fel akartad hívni.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. It's painted blue.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
No idea.
Azt mondom neki, hogy miért is ne. A valami nem stimmel ezzel a helyen.
Eccentric. But okay, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Jó, akkor azt kérdezzük meg ezt.
Can I help you?
Köszönöm a trash container kulcsokat, jó?
Jó.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Valaki azt abba odarakta?
Kinek van még kulcs?
The trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in
Azoknak
the
is
trash.
lesz mi egyesületünk? Igen.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene. Yes?
Nem lehet beszélni erről szó, de igen.
Ja.
You see a heavy steel door. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe. The door does not budge. The door does not.
Jó,
Hello again, sweetie.
Tudok tőle kérni pénzt. Nem tud semmit a történelemről.
Kérsz tőle pénzt?
Nem akarok.
Amúgy izéktől is kérhetsz bekább. Szerintem elküldök a faziba. Rendőröktől.
Szerintem is.
De hát, ha ki tudjuk fizetni izét, akkor nem basznak ki minket, nem? Mert így kibasztak minket.
Ez ki amúgy, én nem volt itt. Ez pedig már itt a végig van.
The worker is in a deep slumber.
Pick up the pills, milyen pills vannak?
Annál a peel. Inspect the piece of plastic on his carpet. Nézzük meg ezt.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John.
Jó, tudjuk a nevét. Ennyi elég nekünk egyelőre. Santiago a neve.
Mi a terve?
Tudunk már level up-olni, szóval nézzük meg azt, hogy fel tudunk-e ugrani a cuccunkért.
Jó, az...
Mert ha nem, akkor szerintem tudunk olyan skillt választani, ami segít
most elvittük én a nézőt? Folytastuk?
Igen.
Be lehetett hazudni izének, hogy nem... Nem? Lehetett hazudni, hogy már elintézted a folytast.
Jó, de azt mi se tudjuk. Amit, hogy akkor mi se
Igen. De hát gondoltam, hogyha ennyire nem emlékszel semmire, ki tudja.
The tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
Save your fire-re. Nézzük meg azt. Ez az. Sneak. Jó, toljuk erre. Na, még tudok egyet tolni. Valamire.
Na, de mire?
Jó kérdés. Nem tudom, szerinted fizikre menjünk, intelligentre, vagy mire? Kettő már van a motorosból, egy van a izéből, most már tudunk így hazudság vizsgálni, vagy mi.
Igen, és mit teszünk az intelligencia? Hát a...
Ezért tudom megnézni az ártot. Kreativitás, amik szerintem az kettő az ugyanaz.
Enciklopédiával.
Enciklopédiás tudásunk.
Mert hogyha az van, akkor mi van akkor, hogyha... Jobban fogod tudni a tetoválásokat, meg ilyeneket, vagy...
Ha lehet, van sima logika, meg a végén pedig a visual calculations.
Tudom, igazából... Ja,
Válasz egyet, nekem tetszik. Enciklopédia legyen? Na.
Hát szerintem akkor igen, akkor lehet, hogy több mindent tudsz, de még a visual... Enciklopédia vagy a visual calculus.
Aha.
Kettőt.
Nekem is ez a kettő tetszik. Legyen ez.
Jó.
Még van?
Akkor jó.
Na, ennyi.
Zsír, akkor?
Ó, még kéne egy.
Mi?
És elköltöttük. Jó, tehát akkor még mindig nem tudjuk megcsinálni. Még kéne egy level up. Na várjál. Ja. Ebből kéne még egy. Szerintem. Hát nem. Vagy biztos.
The tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
Lehet.
Akkor próbálj.
Csak kevés az esély.
Nem baj. Hát.
Mert megint sikerül.
Nope, no.
Sure. Just be careful, okay? Looks like you almost strained a muscle there.
Ja.
Kell még egy azért. Hát jó, azt nem tudtam.
Nem. Hiába, mert most lesz még egy, akkor sem kevés az esély. Rosszat dobtunk, úgyhogy 3-as, meg 5-öt dobtunk. azért nem olyan rossz dobások szerintem. Szóval nagyon-nagyon kicsi ez a sérel, mert nem vagyunk elég
De hát akkor is kell
ügyesek.
valahogy, nem tudom, hogy lehetne máshogy megszerezni.
Hát gondolom akkor, hogyha majd beérünk arra a területre, vagy nem tudom. Jó. Fogjuk a tesztjeinket. Oké. Interview the White Pines Prep. Meg kell találni, aki az egész Harbor, vagy mi. Union Boss-t ki kell kérdezni.
Union Boss, azt tudjuk, hogy ki, csak hogy hol van, azt nem tudom.
Igen. Use Kim short wave to run the serial number. A csizmához. Nem vágom. Majd megnézzük. Ask Kim to tell you about the case. Meg kell kérdezni, hogy hol van a többi izé, a Kunot kéne megkérdezni, azt írja.
Hogy mi hol van.
A többi része a ruhának. Pay for the damage, keresd meg a badge-edet, kirakta izét trashbe, valószínű akkor izé volt szerintem.
Csaj.
A csaj, mert neki még volt rá izé.
A victim tattoos.
Igen. Home with the car, ki reportolt, single karaoke. Meg kell menni, hogy falling pants for Cluno.
Akkor mindenképpen kell pénz.
Take down your gun. Secret message. Nem tudja senki sem, hogy hol megy ez a...
Mi?
Hát ez a ajtó. Keci. Jó. Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it?
Hol van a többi
Kuno
állam?
doesn't give a shit about the armor.
Hogy?
That fucking had one thing majorly wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Do you remember how he looked? Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustache union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
Someone bought that armor. Go fuck the union fuck. Mustaged union fuck. Aha.
Aki, ezért, bajszos unionos kell.
Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Jó, mi terekről
So yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor, go to the gate, ask him yourself.
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno feed you this information?
Yeah, Kuno's doing charity today. Kuno Day. Kuno feels sorry for you two loser pigs. Kuno's doing pity now.
Still, seems suspicious. He may have it in for that guy. Or you may be paranoid. That is also a possibility, sire.
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
Get lost.
The fuck do you want with it? Course you fucking can. How do you think Kuno made all the docky boys his gimps? Just got a fly pig.
Jó, nem ment az, hogy próbáltam ugrálni.
Kuno knows. Kuno and C saw you shit yourself. It's okay, pig. Not everyone can face the fear, Kuno.
That's all there is to it then. Don't be a pansy. Just jump.
Jó, most kaptam egy physical instrumentet, az jó? Most jobb lesz
Ja,
az ugrálás.
föl kell menni megint.
Good call, Pigmeister. Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Hát próbáljuk meg, de...
Just fucking jump.
Jön.
Ez egy mentést csinálni.
Ja.
Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
Megpróbáljuk már. De egy szívet nyomtál.
Aha.
Jó.
Bazzeg.
Nem hiszem el. Várjál, mentettél, nem?
Nope, no. That's still too...
Sure. Just be careful, okay? Looks like you almost strained a muscle there.
Még visszamentéssel, előtt. Hátra sikerült.
Baldur gépére csak.
Nem abban. Csak most én nem kíváncsi vagyok. Nehéz ez a szar.
Hát most kettes meg, egyesnek kettes dobott, az volt a baj szerintem.
Azért megpróbáljuk. Megnézzük. Ha itt áll ez a kabát, legalább a jelvény vagy valami legyen meg. Nem? Úgy szerintem ide fel lehet csinálni a kék ajtóhoz, szóval tényleg kicsit
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
de akkor ez valószínűsíthető lenne a...
Most ugyanazt dobja?
Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a...
Meg egyet dobott. Hát, még egyszer fogom, harmadjára se sikerül.
Akkor ez azt jelenti, hogy valami nagyon nem. Vagy akkor másodot kell találni, csak tényleg rohadtul nehéz. Pedig.
Kéne valami...
Nem?
Nincs nem valami olyan dolog, ami segítene?
Például.
Hát valami alkohol, vagy azt nem biztos, hogy kéne inni, de érted, hogy mondom.
Értem én.
Egyik se tűnik annak.
Nem viszont. Szerintem az ajtókat tudjuk nézni, hogy feltörjük. Mégis kurva
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught in the railing.
Akkor nem így kell.
De biztos, hogy így kell, csak...
Hát ennyiből nem sikerült. Két
Nope, no. That's still too hard.
Hanyas kell dobni, sikerül?
Just be careful, okay? Looks like you almost strained a muscle there.
Felvittem az életemet maxra.
Megint.
Mi? Próbálj meg még egyszer.
Aha.
Jó, még egyszer, de utána többet már nem. Jó?
Nem tudom, szerintem, de hát hogy tényleg kell valami második. Szerintem.
Nem tudom. Szerintem béna.
Tudod, hogy?
Hát ebbe igen.
Lehet, hogy tényleg az intelligenciát, meg a fizikát kell. Nagyon maxra tolni. Nem. És akkor több esélye van az embernek.
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught. The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the that machine is a convulsant 1020 HK.
És honnan lehet ide jönni?
Is it? But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. The cloak? Well,
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide?
Na, most sikerül.
Csap bele! Na, végre basszom.
As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses.
Close your eye, less your sensitivity. Hold your voyage through the Gateje. Meg legyen.
Nem tudom. Ne csukjuk be.
Jó.
As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable. Must be the adrenaline.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now.
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor rushes back in.
Ez az. Arra most a végben nincs semmi.
Ha lenne, akkor van vannak, nem?
De itt a kabátom, hogy valószínű, hogy a...
Yes.
Az a formás. Tell me about the case again. I think you should... Nem.
Tell me about the case against him.
What do you want to know?
Nem emlékszem. Hát és ezt elmondom neki, ma muszáj, ez a tesz.
Igen.
Benne van, szóval csak mondjuk neki.
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city.
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Jó.
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition. You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. What's there to say? It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here. And now it's come to its natural conclusion. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest with 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition.
So, he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary, somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are 2 columns. One says, cases solved. The other, confirmed kills.
Mi legyen?
Igen, lehet. Close your eyes, so you
Nem, igen. Szóval jó volt.
worried for some reason. I told you that the solved case was sure about Martinez.
Close your eyes.
The rows are endless. Jean Vicmer, Judith Minot, a special consultant. What was his name? Then the rows degrade into green nothingness.
Yes, I'm an unrepentant spoilsport. Well, technically, the official record keeper has been known to double count murder-suicides.
Okay.
A common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats.
Tetsz a játék.
Nekem is.
I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. My Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange doesn't exist.
A tremble comes over you. Another after effect of ethanol poisoning, perhaps. Feels like leaves do when they rustle in the breeze, somewhere far away, below the turbine. The 41st and the 57th. The lieutenant was right. It's not about who gets what's north. It's about who doesn't. The silence carries.
Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Ki tudnám logikázni valamit?
Because you're the best qualified? No, that doesn't seem right. If you're so well qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? Anyway, don't keep the lieutenant waiting.
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
Oh.
Good. Let's change the subject.
Igazából be lehet menni. Autószívvel. Mit gyűjtöttél be?
Ja, csak megnéztem. A White Pines.
Volt fenyő?
Igen.
Felé lehet, hogy az ajtónál is lesz.
Várjál, vagy tutiban megyek valahova. Meg nem menjünk át, jegyezzük meg, hogy itt betegyünk. Meglepném ezt a gombot.
Szép.
Ez egy jó volt. Oké, itt ennyi volt, szerintem. Ezt a gombot
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Marche. On. Arrête. Off.
Ja. Marche is on, arrête off. Kapcsoljuk be.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Oké.
Tudjuk nézni szerintem.
Szóval igen.
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest.
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Nézzük meg, nem kapcsoltam ki.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to interview the Union boss.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Nem tetszett neki.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container.
Ezt lehetetlen kinyitni.
Egyszer megpróbálom.
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You...
Nem engedi.
Ezt vissza is töltsük. Tehát, hogy leírtam, hogy csinálunk, meg alapból úgy akartam ezt megnézni, hogy mi van, ha amúgy nem néztem volna meg.
Aha. Jó.
Kikapcsolom a gépet.
A rusting control panel. No screech of metal when you push the button. The crane does not return to its...
Az úgy maradt. Jó. Ez az ajtó megyünk meg.
Nem tudom, hogyha ott megyünk, akkor szerintem oda be is tudsz menni.
Igen, tudom. Csak amelyiken megyünk meg.
Tehát mi itt megnézzük az a kis szobát.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René
Mégis ők
Arnaud.
a vacsmanák, akkor
Listen,
Igen.
nekik
it's
kell
okay to
tudásuk
take a few
lenni.
minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
Hát be kell nézni szerintem, mert...
Ki might gonna take a quick look inside, search the woods. Have seed rust.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Take a picture. Picture alone. Az a baj, csak egy-két fotón van, nem tudom, hogy erre használja be.
Oh, ne.
Let's get going. The entire neighborhood can see us up here.
Akkor nem ez, akkor nézzük meg ezt az ajtót, ezt az ajtót. Más sem nem tudom csinálni. Valószínűleg igen. Hol vagyunk? Ez vakik a ház, nem?
Ezt nem tudom. Várjál, security volt? Nem betűformának a házon?
Melyiknek?
Hát a security-nek, akit felhoztattak.
Lehet, mert
Mert ő
az is ilyen...
security volt a
Igen,
pályázében, szóval lehet, hogy ővé volt a security book, meg a lakás is.
Többeket megfotózni.
Hát... Tudom, hogy itt találunk valami izé.
Nem lopok, nem? Vagy... Ez lopás.
Viszont lopás itt a játékban, szóval... Tudjuk is.
Mutatom. Ez mi?
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders. Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol, Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Próbálom.
Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing. You're a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Good. This is probably not relevant to our case anyway. After all, we are not investigating an accounting mystery.
No.
You're trying hard, but the data here is unbelievably dry. Something about containers. The drawer slides shut.
Good job.
Pedig majdnem.
Yeah.
Ez mi?
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. And a moment of hesitation before entering.
Muscle memory-mra használva van?
993. Calling. Calling. Still calling.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. How may I help you?
The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows.
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy.
Hogy ez mi ez a hely nekem? Do you know me?
Why did I call you? You know me?
Do you know me?
No.
Why did I call you?
Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period?
Maybe that my name is Rafa, nem, az nem. Nem tudom a nevemet. Mondjam neki?
If you need any further assistance, you can visit us on the corner of Voyager and Main. I can't help you over the phone. Are we done?
On the corner of Voyager and Main, a large neon sign hangs on the side of a building. Video Revachol, 24 hours. It's raining and there is almost no traffic on the street. A woman's footprints in the mud lead away from the front door. Tiny heels tiptoeing down the road. Beautiful steps, light-footed with a lifetime ahead of them. You look up and the air seems to grow darker. The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the disconnect tone.
Jó. Na, még jól sikerült. Mi ez? Most kimegyek. És hol van a Union Leader, basz meg? Azt hittem, hogy itt lesz valahol, nem? Nem tudunk átmenni azon. Tehát akkor itt ugrottunk le.
Igen. Itt most bementem. Menjünk ki, beszéljünk ezzel valakivel először. Szerintem. Mit szólsz? Jó.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
Nem ő a voice-os, akit keres?
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Elysium on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
Hi.
Everard, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
Yes, scabs.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh yes, Born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my accent then. People say us Udis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. Those are just nasty rumors.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
The containers in the yard are green in Wild Pine's livery, and the mountains rising behind Leo is all red in Union colors. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core. There appear to be cisterns underneath the Union container covers.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Baldurs Union logo on them.
No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Oh, I don't know, mister. They say it's some chemicals. Most of them have labels on them, I think. Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
Oh yeah?
Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off. I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. Well, that's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow.
I remember I was the runt of the class. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day. Flew off the handle like nobody's business. But Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat old Noel Becker so bad he needed stitches on his head. No, Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everett. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with everyone around here. Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Marginise what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys. Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course. Bye-bye now.
Az egész úgy néz ki, hogy mint hogy tényleg egy ilyen elbaszott kolónia lenne.
Igen.
Hát nem tudom, mint ha minden elborul volna, hogyha nem földlakók lennének, hanem mint hogyha valahol indítottak fel egy kolóniát, csak ott a társadalom egy kicsit a peremre szorult, és ilyen, nem tudom. Mint a régen minden jobban nézett volna, hogy a házak, meg minden elkezdtek kolonizálni, de ilyen
Is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. with a mixture of expectation and impatience.
Nem
Well,
tudom, a
not.
dizájnja nagyon tetszik a játéknak. A borult érdekes.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
Mi? Mr. Dubois?
Micsoda, amit mondjuk bal? Vagy hogy hívnak?
Igen.
Hogy hívják?
I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Miért hívják Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Ez azt mondja az, hogyha őt kérdezik, akkor Henrynek hívnak.
Aha, igen. Ezért kiderül szerintem, hogy elmegyünk a videótékába.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Wait, you know...
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least, don't thank him for it.
Keep it and good. Keep it and good, no?
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
Honnan tud arról?
Igen.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, don't worry, he actually meant, be very worried.
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
Oh, akkor igaza volt a Harryvel.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Kim?
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
Stay cool.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eaten them all up now. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Hát itt csak rosszakat lehet mondani.
Igen, igen. Ez megint meg fogok halni.
Hova te legutóbbi mentés?
I don't dispute that you have been charged with protecting the people of a particularly challenging district. But poverty does not make one a loser. Poverty is just poverty.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned.
Jó, akkor itt szoktuk, mert túlságosan bepánikolt. Akkor lehet, hogy nem kéne annyira basszadni a fegyveres időt, mert akkor bepánikol a forma. Hogyha nagyon van. Hanem oda kell menni a formához, szerintem. Nem tudom, hogy hol tartok, hogy most már csak be kell megnézni, ez még beszélni kell még a... Nem tudom, hogy kell beszélni a közös formával. De jól csináltuk, szerintem kell beszélni a formával, akkor ezt eltehetjük szerintem.
Hát, meg akar neki zsebolni.
Szabad?
Igen. Meg le akar bribe-olni. Az a bajunk, hogy lejjebb ment izénk a morálunk, meg ilyenek. A múltkor is ez volt a baj.
Akkor ne. Tettük el. Azt mondod?
Hát eddig se tettük el.
Nem tettük el?
Nem tettük el.
Te nem tettük.
Nem, mondtam, hogy nem akarom el.
I see you are not a union man. I mean, just some of the other guys don't look... Oh, people say...
Thank you.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Sure is, mister. Sure is.
I had to break this bonding moment, but the red containers mean they are replacing the company livery with the union livery, which means this strike isn't gonna stop anytime soon.
Oh, guys. Oh, I'm... Sure, mister. About what? Oh, sure, mister. About what? Bye.
Szóval érdekes, hogy itt le van pukolva minden. Nekem úgy tűnik, mutatja, vagy valami apokalipszis után történne itt a Földön, nem?
Igen.
Én nézem az irodákat, a házakat, meg minden, nem? Ilyen darabban minden.
Igen.
Majd nézzük a munkásnak, oké, csak a csizmája volt.
Ja, ezért kaptam skill pontot, értem.
Megnézzük, hogy a munkásnak csak a csizmája volt meg, de az is milyen érdekes.
Biztos, hogy nem fog leülni. Kényelmetlen ez a kurva szék.
Before you is a war. With great effort, with a mixture of expectation and...
Welcome, Mr. I'd offer you my...
He looks extreme.
You go ahead.
Whatever, forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist. Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
You're no Titan of Elysium, buddy. He's got you in a fork. Sit down or leave.
Jó, azt még hagyjuk szerintem. Nem. Na várjál, Quicksilverünk egyet itt.
Jó.
És aztán leülünk, aztán márunk vele.
Mr. Dubois, I hope time is on your side this time. Please.
It's nothing.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you are a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use. So tell me, how can the head of the Baldurs Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has...
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception. This should be sufficient to...
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes,
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Okay, now...
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun. Despair creeps into you. Getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Fuck me? I understand this is by no means an easy investigation.
Nothing you can say. Cop gives up.
Mert akkor csak Cop gives up igazából, azzal szóval. Mindenképp a fegyverrel kezdve beszélni, ha nem fogod az alapját?
Az előbb volt az előbb volt ilyen, amik segített a morálba, most nem tudom, hogy ezt hol hagytam el.
Morálba?
Igen.
Mi?
Valami, szerintem valami pill, vagy valami, vagy nem tudom.
Ó. Ezért talált?
Nem tudom, hogy most az előbb találhattuk, szerintem, mert amikor bejöttünk ide, akkor már nálunk volt. És a izénél meg még nem volt nálunk a mentésnél, szóval lehet, hogy valahol itt volt.
Before you stands a cargo container.
Később is beszéltünk a farmával.
Hát, ja.
Hogyha esetleg megtelik a fegyverünk közben, mert tudjuk a halászni. Nem?
Valaki így.
Már itt amiatt van rá, hogy gyerekek találják a fegyverét, ki tudja, mi történik vele.
Igen. Lássad, most hogy megyek vissza?
Sok vissza.
Az autómentés alapján itt még nem volt.
Úgy látszik?
Ha most találtuk meg azt a cuccot.
Hát akkor...
Azt ki, akkor még fel se hívtuk a videótékán.
On second glance,
It's unfortunate.
the drawer opens smoothly. Hundreds of and the same material. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood? Remember, Leo, all items on the list. The drawer.
Leót meg tudjuk kérdezni. Leó volt ez a bajszos, mi? Na most már van olyan cuccunk. Nem tudom mi.
De most hatodik a nevőben. Harry, nem?
Harry Dubois.
Harry Dubois, igen.
Nem, kimentem.
És most már tudod mondani, nem, hogy Harry Dubois vagy nem?
Tudom. Szerintem. Vagy legalábbis ezért azt hallottuk azt, hogy Dubois.
De hogy...
Megpróbálom megint felhívni ezért, de nem hiszem, hogy most menni fog.
A fő? Sikerül.
Az előbb működött, de...
Masszal memoriból.
Igen.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and the machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your fingers run over the dial pad, calling, still
Video Reversal.
the voice of a young
Video Reversal is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. No. Sir, I don't know. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period?
Nem írja meg, hogy mi a neve.
Raphael what? Listen, I can't help you over the phone.
on the corner of void tiny the call.
Jó van. Tisztít a blót.
Igen, elég van. És most akkor Leótól megkérdezzük mindent?
Ja, ez fontos. Kérdezzük meg Leótól, mi a helyzet. Aztán kérdezzük meg formátusra, hogy van ilyen emocionális cuccunk. Hogy jó-e. De amúgy is tudom, hogy ki
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes. Wisdom withers, if not... Oh, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht. Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dog fighters. Alcohol, however.
Bors, mint ez a kaja, nem?
Yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
És ki készíti?
Oh, the Whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along.
Yes, I'm like, actually,
Who is?
a real, but, oh,
He...
but she's a real, if me doctor like me.
So Everard trained a lawyer named Miss Beeford.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I feel some of the guys don't, oh, but, oh,
Easy.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it.
But mister, oh, I'm just, sure, mister. About what?
Jó. De most mentjünk. Nem?
Igen.
És tudom, hogy tudjuk tényleg innen lejünk. És tényleg... Zavar.
Nem tudtam.
Na, lehet a térkép?
Hát, vagy térképpen ilyen le tudsz menni, ilyen leeresztős gombóval.
Ezt nem inkább a térkép. Most rájtam valami a térkép. Na nézzük.
Mr. Dubois, I hope time is on your side this... Please, Mr.
It's nothing. Yes.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you are reasonable... So tell...
The chair you're...
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude... This should take care. It should be sufficient.
Wow. That's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Okay, now...
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. When he said, don't worry, he actually meant, be very worried.
I'm not worried, I've got this.
Are you all right, Harry? You say you got this, but you seem a little anxious to me. Don't be. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Don't panic. Megpróbálom nem pánikolni.
Jó.
Először beszél ki, már lehet, hogy segít.
Officer.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Nem segít.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your... You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do, don't cry. He'll think you're disgusting.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
Ja.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step. He watches you melt down stoically. From nothing you can say. Cop gives up the detective's yawning.
Jó, tehát én nem tudom, hogy lehetne.
Hát kétszer is bajba kerülünk itt, hogyha beszélgetünk ezzel a formával, szóval most ne beszéljük benne szerintem. Ennyi. Ebből elég volt, majd viszonyunk, hogyha több ilyen cuccuk lesz.
Ja, ne beszéljünk.
Szóval még arra gondoltam, hogy itt van egy ilyen, hogy... Várjál, itt van egy cucc.
Ez a kép, nem?
Postcard.
Ja, még postcard.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and, at the same time, above it. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just after rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International development, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal a la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going a la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bear wrestling. Flip back to that. It seems to be part of a new public fitness initiative in the People's Republic of Samara, SRV, devised and promoted by none other than President Kenajinsky himself. According to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has recently decreed bear wrestling the national sport of the SRV. Of course not. The article makes plain that this is man on bear, or in some cases, woman on bear competition. According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, this is the SRV we're talking about. If you think those are the real numbers, there's probably a guy who wants to sell you a bridge in La Cherte. That's very much the idea. President Kaczynski has long maintained that a strong body is... You flip back to the front of the magazine.
Hát elég furcsa berendezkedésükről, kicsit már ilyen kommunista is, nem?
Igen. Na, eláttuk. Térkép. Vágom. Mindenképp kell beszélni a formával, nem? Meg kell nekünk az a szar, mivel nem megyünk, mivel le tudunk.
Itt nem tudtak le, itt az csak egy ilyen kiálló.
Látom, igen, szerintem nem. Így nem lehet bemenni.
Csak akkor ügyesen próbáljuk beszélni vele.
Hát, nem, ügyes nem tudok.
Yes?
Vagy fogadjuk el a pénzt, nem tudom.
Igen.
Na, de ez ebből az a játék, hogy leugrattunk és túl korán vagyunk itt, vagy mi? Nem?
Nem hiszem.
Nem. Te ide bemész, és ott van egy ilyen ajtó, hogy ezt vetted el. Itt ezt. Nem is ad semmi. Olyat tudod kinyitni, vagy lockpickelni, vagy be.
Nálam ez miért itt tudok csinálni?
Itt mit tudsz fel? Mi van azok a dolgok, amit eltettük a kocsiba? Nem
Ezek azok. Ott van a crowbar nálam, de nem engedi. Szóval valószínűleg nem ezt kell csinálni. Nem is tudok menni. Nem tudom, hogy elfogadni ezt a kurva pénzt, de...
Menj el!
Igen.
Hát van.
Azért azt tegnap neki. Csak nincs valami másik itt. Ez a forma. Innen nem lehet menni semmelre sem.
Mr. Dubois, I hope time is on your side this time. Please, take a seat. Please, Mr. Dubois, let us
It's nothing. Yes.
Excellent. So tell...
The chair you're...
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a... This should be sufficient.
Wow, that's 20.
Yes, I...
With a grin, he points to the check again. It's like your invention. At least don't thank him for it.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed when he said, "Don't worry." He actually meant.
Are you all right, Harry? You seem... It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a...
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep... Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie? You ain't worried about no lost gun, or unpaid bill, or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him.
Mit lehet itt?
Fuck yeah. Remember when you tried the expression on that little minx in the silver jumpsuit? That was you.
Nem tudom, hogy az expressionomat.
The fat man seems to be enjoying your rigor mortis grin. He shoots one just like it right back at you. Good. Now lean in with some corruption.
That we do, Harry. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters.
Beszólok neki, hogy szép volt ilyen szar széket adni, mert hogy mindenki egyen van, tudod, vagy pedig elmondom neki, hogy igen, hát hogy ez a fighter comfortable chairekhez szokott hozzá, mi legyen.
Martinből, nem tudom.
Melyik lő?
Hát szerintem az első.
I do want you to feel at home, Harry, truly. But you'll have to excuse the humble accommodations.
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity.
Mi legyen? Középső?
Középső.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a lawman. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? What can Everard Clare do for you?
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Igen.
Somehow you managed to get yourself out of this one. Now quick, keep the momentum up. Ask questions. Whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him thinking you're scared.
Jó.
Miért hívsz engem Dubóznak?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. No harm done. It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Igen, most úgy néz ki, hogy...
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Ne kérdezgessük magunkról, szerintem hirtelen, mert most az ügy miatt kérdezősködünk, nem?
Igen.
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
Hát, hogy ránézhetek a folderre. Csak, hogy ránézek szerintem.
Nagy százalékban van esélye.
Nézzük.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, Now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. In pity, the mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Okay.
Hát... A hangingről, az akasztásról akarsz beszélni?
Megkérdezem tőle, hogy nem gondolkozom, hogy jöttünk be?
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age...
Akkor azt is látta, hogy ugrottunk, hogy tudja. Mit mondjak? Nem mondok semmit? Vagy azt, hogy ez hogy...
Now, Vakinas, let's get back to business.
Things do always turn real wacky when you and I are in the same room, don't they, Harry?
Már voltunk ugye ebben a szobában.
Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
Kim is the true? Azt mondja, hát már nyitottunk ki pár ajtót az életünkbe.
And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Who's doing it? I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging dame. Fine. Look into the murder.
Hát, biztos nem tud semmit ezéről.
Kinek van?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
Okay. Miért nem nyitott ki?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
Fogadjuk el azért a teszket, hogy segítünk neki, és utána pedig ő elmond mindent.
Miben segítünk neki?
Hát majd mindjárt elmondja. Azt mondja, hogy valami vízet kell megtalálni.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many moving parts in my operation, I can't keep track of them all. You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me. Just one thing. If you can, make it even shadier.
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he doesn't care either.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as all. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
See you soon.
Jó, bejelentettük itt.
Ja. Abból már nem lehet beszélni. Mármint, hogy
Ja, ma hazudtunk volna, hogy nálunk van, akkor...
Ja, de akkor meg most tudom, hogy akkor egy gyereket.
Aha.
Megnézzük, igen. Be tudunk menni egy
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
If you must.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye.
Let's get going. The entire neighborhood can see us.
hogy lehetett volna megoldani máshogy ezt a beszélgetést. Hogy amúgy egyből meghaltunk. Hogyha nem sikerült.
Yes?
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Cavalier?
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. Yes.
He means alcohol.
Correct. My small skull servant. Al Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison. A parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you for humiliating them and stripping them of their land.
Intentionally fermented drinks have existed for 10,000 years.
Your life and the life of your race revolve around Al Ghul.
It's not good.
It's like a rat crawled into your stomach, got drunk and drowned.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning, begging for help, attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, raised the... You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians, and you will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Aces low. For the rest of the world, the Aces Low is just some cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades. And those cargo pants look like they could fit tools for hot-fixing your burning aerostatic. You should ask him about this.
Yes?
Igen, de nem nagyon írja. I think you should know I can't remember anything. Szerintem már tudja. De mondjuk már neki szerintem.
Jó, de van sem.
Most nem tudtam.
Yes?
No response. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
Can you help me?
Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation. Try work, the case at hand. It can work miracles.
I have afraid it's a medical situation.
Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering. He cannot fathom that anyone could drink so much as to retroactively erase their entire life.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want... There's no real... 3 days ago, during that... A security... They didn't... There's a... Just... You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief? There's no... 3 days... During... A security... They didn't... There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union. Just... You mean like a brief? 3... A security... They didn't... There's a... Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find... Good. Excuse me? You have a distinctive way of walking.
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at...
Oké, ezeken nem jutunk át.
Ezt jó most, hogy tudja?
Szerintem jó. Ez ki?
Hát nem tudom, mennyire jó.
Mert, hát kaptunk 2 feladatot is, hogy keressünk segítséget, és azt mondta, hogy 9-kor beszéljük újra, hogyha valami nem nincs rendben, este 9-kor.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses. Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to scab. Or I guess, scared maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
Igen. Szerintem is. Ez a hely, ahol lakunk.
Ez a szállás.
De hol a videóték?
Azt mondta, az úgy túlomlán.
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Rivershore. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting. Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hair. Grey sky like humid. Your coat shields you from the rain while the city shivers around you.
Motherfucker.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. At least we are dressed for it. Let's keep moving.
Okay. mondasz?
Hát én itt próbálj meg átmenni.
Ja, ezen van?
Igen. Hát azt mondom, hogy nem nagyon nyomos semmi. Hát ez nagyon ilyen izének tűnik. Hogy is mondjam, apokaliptikus világ újraépítve, vagy ezért egy kolónia, ami leépült. Nem?
Igen. Ezt megveszítjük a címet.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution, but the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement?
Vagy egy joke, vagy egy target practice, vagy egy politikás statement, vagy pedig köze van a gyilkosságunkhoz.
Hát nem tudom, szerintem köze nincs. Szerintem egy... Hát political...
Nézzük meg azt.
Ja.
Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line, and the Philip III's
Igen, és valahogy itt van megmondta, hogy az itt túloldalán.
Van bike tankot. Az pénz. Ez túloldalán. Ez talán?
Aha.
Unionizálnak, várják, hol elmegyünk.
A Stars Riker, one of the finest Zhimsk-made motor carriages ever. An oldie, but a goldie.
All that I have policeman things to do.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
Nem tudok oda menni.
Sehogy sem.
Mi lenne akkor, hogyha... Igen, már kéne, hogy... De nem tudok arra. Aztán lehet, hogy akkor rájövök, hogy lehet.
A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
Guess not, no.
Good thing you're an unrecovering alcoholic then.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Ugye lehet vásárolni, de nincs pénzed.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Hmm? Oh, that's the tear machine.
Erre be tudod dobálni szabadban lévő ízéket. Hát kapsz pénzt.
It's a machine for tear. You need a bag, I guess. Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though.
Kell egy zsákot keresnem, meg egy idén.
Ja.
Akkor ez nem az. Úgy még legyen.
Nincs zsák. Nagyon. Csak örülök rajta. Mert talán, hogyha egy csajnál nincs zsák, akitől kérti mindenfélet, vagy a kocsitól. Ó, de is bele tudod a ház.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design.
Save the economy? That sounds off. You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
Nem akarok ebből venni semmit. Büdös.
Nincsen zsákja.
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% water. Practical, and yet it may deaden your senses to the world around you. Possibly because of the awful typeface.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
Mi? A zacskó vagy?
Feltek venni egy ilyen. Ez nem zacskó, ez a ruha.
Ja.
Oké.
nincs élményünk.
Miért van izé mögött?
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys. Big men on big...
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Okay.
Szóval arra kíváncsi, hát ha beadták ide izét, vagy a forma maga a jelvényét.
Gondolod? Akkor beszéljünk a nővel?
Ja, meg itt a környék, itt is kutassuk át az
Szóval csomódában nézzünk a fegyverünket, a fegyünk.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my port. What can I do for you? Oh no.
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe. Entertained. He might be high. If he is, on what?
Let me have a look.
I like to sell my clothes. I have a photo of a conceal. Nem. I check my pocket.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Nem adok el semmit.
Another time, perhaps.
Okay. He definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it. And many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations. Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything.
Can't say I'm a huge admirer of wild pines, and I can't say I trust any silver-tongued spokesperson of theirs. Fortunately, I have no reason to get involved. What should I have for it? No, just people like that.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Felismert minket, igen, mi jöttünk be? Morálkritikával azért.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her, truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, And now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Megkerüljön.
Várjál. Ne azt, hogyha elkövet egy izét, az nagyon, mert bejelentetted, hogy eltűnt.
Igen.
Sorry, legyen.
Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol citizen. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts vote on a mission. My apologies, officer. But I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying and the Union can track her down in time.
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their wild pine. They went their way. It was a trip, but...
Wait, then it might be true. Everard's claims.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
People as oleaginous as Everard seem like they're lying, even when they're really being truthful.
Of course.
Jó. Igazad volt az részről.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead.
A badge-ot kéne még olyan megtalálni. Nem tudom, hogy... Ezt hogy? Nincs itt nál?
Nincs.
Kabátban se van.
Ki ez?
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. And I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just...
Arra gondoltam, hogy ott van a szemlély, aki ura ezért ott. Utána ez tényleg 2000-es
Mi? Gun?
Nem a gun, hanem a...
Hello again, officer. How? Of course. Where to? Wild Pine.
Yes, a representative of the hop.
Oh, that must be the woman on the giant boat. There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really. The harbor gates? Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Just coast.
Rows of stalls under a broad roof, where silvery fish were heaped on newspapers.
I don't know. It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinet. Nope.
She's very well composed, back straight.
Tehát akkor valami olyasmi látszott, hogy valami kiakadott volna. Nagyon. Nagyon kiakadott, amiért eldobálta a cuccait, meg hangsabba adta a kabátot, a rendőrség ilyen jelzése látszott a kabáton is, adott izére. Akkor a fegyverét vett egy pawnshopba. Gondolom én a budget is valóban eldobálhatta. Annyira nincs meg. Nem?
Igen.
Szerintem. És szerintem, hogy hallhatott a csaj ordibálás, mert zenét hallhatott, valami bekattam nála. Mentálisan valami elkattam nála, és azért nem emlékszik semmi, mert mondott, hogy nem akar valamit tett. Szerintem nem tudott összeegyeztetni a sárgával. De igen? Már gondolj bele, szerintem nyomozott ezután az ügy után, és utána valami történt.
Történt?
Mi volt? Szóval...
Welcome to Crime, Romance and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture. Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post, doing her job like a proper girl?
Látod az egész helyzet, hogy néz ki, nem?
Viszont közben.
Kivel?
Hát a szakáccsal a cuccról.
Borsról?
Igen, igen.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return. Just one word. Sounds quizzical. Then he awaits your answer.
Boss need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak. You see a heavy steel door. The door does not.
Poi izé...
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks. Yes. Another thing. Great. I love... Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frick warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafes. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. Yes?
You see a You see a heavy steel door. The door does not budge. The old Kobo, it leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. Whatever is behind it must be older.
Mikor ne több pénzt?
Mi?
Lehet kérni a több pénzt.
Lehet, tényleg. Lehet, hogy az is lesz. És quicksévelek egyet.
De ugye bármi gyakorlatilag hozzá?
Hát, ja, meg kérek a nőtől pénzt, aztán kilépek szerintem. Ennyi nyomozás elég volt mára. Give me your money.
Hello again, sweetie. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located? Yes, indeed. Yes, and Revachol? Yes, great. How would I even begin? I haven't seen... Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Miket lehet?
Some kind of democracy, maybe. I like to think is a dictatorship of the... Again, but something tells me it's not.
Or leader?
I also tell us this civilized cover. Because before... rezsim.
Valami...
Hát nem tudom. Egyiket sem.
Na várjál, miket lehet nézni? Some kind of democracy?
Kérdezzük meg?
Nem. Várj, átolvasom majd. Hát nem tudom, hogy amiben élnek, az ilyen...
Mindegy, úgyis feltettem.
Fura kommunizmus valami.
Megkérdezem, nem, a kommunizmus nem, az rossz nekik. Megkérdezem, hogy demokrácia talán?
Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is...
Meaning, buying is voting.
Hát akkor a copper regime az...
It is quite disappointing. Oh dear. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a...
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
Oh no. Nem akarom azt, hogy egy brain damage-ek vagyunk.
Nem baj.
Oh no.
Someone more educated in sweeping.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to
Try to force a tear out of your duct. Really rip into the whole emotional aggression thing. Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation.
Fuck me. I understand this is by no means an easy investigation.
Nothing you can... Cop gives up.
Lehet, hogy nem ennyire weak a mentál higiénénk, akkor jobb lenne.
Valószínűleg.
Hát egy diszkó Elysium, mert Elysium az itt az Isteneknek a helye, az ilyen mennyszerű valami, csak menny plusz, nem?
Ja.
Elysium, az ahol az Istenek helyen ilyen nagyon puccos, jó hely, meg ilyenek van. És diszkó, mert ilyen style.
Old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Lehet, hogy azért, hogy Elysium maga, ez a diszkó Elysium. Azért, mert stílus miatt.
Silence. No one answers your call. This button looks new, but someone has removed the name card.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Itt volt.
Igen. Hát nem tudom, hol lehet az egy ilyen köztük.
Mi ez?
Az a videótéka, vagy mi.
Ott ahol azt
Ja, máshol nem nincs. az tényleg nehéz.
Ez az, hogy itt ez csak. Hát de ezt a magunk látok mondta, hogy az út túloldalában is azt
De van, hogy jöjjünk volna.
Nem tudom.
Ez eredmény van.
The woman still had no response wherever this woman is.
Csövesek járultak nekünk a dolgokat. Ha nem tudom. Na, innen fogjuk folytatni.
Oké.
Akár is kell megcsinálni.